Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. We have a little treat for you today. We've got two replays featuring the very same tank but two different players. They're both top players and they're both going to get a great result. It's the Viz55, the Tier 10 Czech heavy tank, and the first replay is by Jamie2006 on Live Oaks. Well, unfortunately, no sound in the replay. Yes, Wargaming have screwed up the client yet again. So it is actually better just to play it without the engine noise. You still get all the sound effects, but no engine noise at all, I'm afraid. But at least you get the tracks moving. Now, the gun on this tank is a 13cm gun, capable of doing 490 alpha. It's got a 2-burst autoloader, and penetration with standard rounds is 260. Oh, he's been hit by an EVR. With standard rounds 260mm of pen, with the APCR it goes up to 306mm, so a considerable amount of pen. He's unlucky that he got hit by the EVR, but at least he didn't lose any hit points. He's been spotted by the enemy. Ooh. M454. He's weaving to try and throw the shot off. He does throw the first one off. Oh, and he didn't get any damage at all there. It was both shells were blocked. Okay, he's reloading. The standard reload time well, it's not 27. Standard reload time is 21.09 seconds, and he's got 20.01. He was obviously stunned, and that's why his reload time went back up. Okay, nothing in sight yet. Now, the clip size, as I said, is 2 shells, and there's a 2-second intra-clip reload between the shells. This was a design from the 1950s, stroke 60s, but it never got put into production because what the Warsaw Pact standardized on Soviet designs instead of actually building their own. One of the things the tank does have is, apart from that insane burst damage, is the brows around the turret, which actually act as spaced armor to block shots. He's being very cautious, but there's an enemy. Briefly saw the AMX for a fraction of a moment. Oh, nice one. Got that into the hull. Going for the body. Yes. Got both of them in. Now, as you know, the burst damage for this tank is 980 hit points in total. Got the low roll. Oh, and the Arty is definitely hammering him, and that's a batch at 155.58. So, yes, 10 seconds, he's going to get another hit if he's not careful. He might want to move back. In fact, it looks like they're using the premium HE. Oh, got one in. Go for the second. Yes, he got it, and he got the kill, but he took a round from the AMX-50B's gun. Now, he needs to get out of here now, because Arty is more than likely going to fire another one in momentarily. He's decided, instead of moving away from the enemy, he's moving closer towards the nearest enemy so that he can actually get some damage and force the enemy Arty to miss. First one goes in. Second one actually looks like he did get it, yep. And he got a high roll on both. And the 2685 has actually moved. Yeah, he can't get a return fire at the moment, and Jamie's safe here for the moment, and now he's got 2 more, and this should be a kill shot. Yep. It's just, this tank plays like you need to move away just a short distance to get that reload in, and then you can blast them with another couple of shots and take them out of the game. It's very efficient. It plays much like the Skoda 56. First one in, go for the kill. Yep, he's got another one. He blocked the shot that came from that M454 as well. It looks like the enemy is being compressed into the top layer of the map in the A row. they can't be happy because we're now near their cap area and they're going to have to try and burst out somewhere. I'm not sure where they can actually do that from. Okay, he spotted a Leopard 1. He get a shot. Wait for it. Oh, that was so close. Better not to shoot if he can't get the second shot off. Yep, got the first one in. Pulls into cover to clip, and second one goes in, but he doesn't get the kill, even though both were high rolls. That E50M took the brunt of that one, and he's seeking cover again to reload. There's an E100 over there he could wipe out with one shot, and I think he could probably do the same to the E50M, but the problem is there's a Foch nearby as well. Nice one into the E100's turret. Gets the second one in as well. This time round he gets low rolls. He's doing it by the textbook. He's actually firing them in, seeking cover straight away, and then pulling back again to reload. Oh, that EBR just did an assassination. Unfortunately, he got killed himself in return, but now the E3 is getting hit, and he gets the second one in through the drive wheel, and now it's all over now. This is the last enemy is the 279, and he's been trapped and cornered. There's no getting out of it, and I think he's just basically said, well, I'm not going to take part in anymore. No need. 15-1. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a first ace tanker for Jamie2006 in the Viz 55. You can tell it's the first one because he got the scrolls underneath. You only get that the first time. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, a sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy, a master gunner for getting 5 armor penetrating shots in a row, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he managed to get 10, and he got the high caliber out of that one for dealing the most damage in the game. Just look at that win rate, 9,042. Nice strong figure. Super Unicum, he got the highest damage with 7,191 hit points. That's a very good score. The next highest scorer was the Progetto 65 with 4,364, and the third highest damage in this game went to the 279E on the enemy team with 3,923. When it came to kills, it was the BR105. Yeah, he made a fatal error at the end. He did get the assassination shot on one tank, but the problem was that he ran into a wall, and that stopped him dead in his tracks. And at that moment, he got wiped out. I think it was by the T110E3. It says Demo Dragon is the name of the player who actually killed him. And actually, it was the 279 that got him in return. So, yes, that's the problem with the EBR. If you haven't set it to the right setting, if it's in speed mode and you go into, well, you don't go into cruise, you can't turn fast. And that means you can run into obstacles, and that's what happened to him, and that's why his game ended early. But he did try to platoon with Jamie right at the end of the game. The third highest player on kills was the Object 2685 on his team and the Gorilla 15. Only one kill by the enemy team. It was their Object 279. Of course, it was the EBR. When it came to base XP, it's Jamie. He's the only one over 1,000. In fact, he got 1,304. The second highest was the EBR 105 with 947, and the third was the Progetto 65 with 830. He fired 18 rounds in that game. Every round hit the target, but only 16 of them actually penetrated. 7,191 hit points of damage, all of it at close range. He got up close to the enemy, made it difficult for the enemy Arty to actually hit him after those first initial shots by using the buildings as cover. 6 hits received from the enemy, only one of which actually penetrated, 4 non-penetrations and 5 hits by way of splash. You can see the armor on this tank is very, very hard indeed. The best place to actually hit it is on the cupolas. 960 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 3 enemy vehicles, damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 3 of the enemy, and did 1,798 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 100,325 credits for the battle, but after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, and it's consumables that cost him here, he actually ended up with a loss of 3,022 credits. Otherwise, he would have made a profit. 25 bonds for completing a mission, 7 bonds for this being tier 10, 32 in total, 1,956 XP, no multipliers, that's all the experience points he took away. So the Viz55 is a very powerful tank. Let's have a quick look at the armor. You can see straight away these brows actually do act as spaced armor. The actual impacted armor on those ones is 70 and then 170, giving an effective armor which, depending on the angle you look at, it's going to be very, very strong indeed, around the 350, 360 mark. So very difficult to pen using those. The upper plate on these ones is a little weaker. It's only 115 impacted armor coming at 226. Lower plate is 140 there, all the way down to the bottom, but varies. You can see it's only 206 here at the top, where it's less angled, and down below it's slightly better. There are some shoulders you can see here, which are 140 millimeters coming at 228. The weak spot really is these cupolas, although they are 200 millimeters, and of course the top of the turret, which is 52 millimeters. Not so sure you can overmatch it, but I see most people try to get either of the cupolas to actually penetrate this vehicle, and that's about all they can aim for most of the time. Although if they're in a clinch, you see sometimes they will aim for the weak spot, the driver's ports here, viewports, so you can actually punch the shell through there. Let's have a quick look at the actually before we go to that, we'll just have a quick look at the side armor. You can see it's 90 millimeters coming out at 97. You can see it's fairly flat sided, and then further back you can see it's 90 millimeters there. Size of the turret 150 millimeters, coming out about the same. Rear of the turret 90 millimeters, coming out at about 100. The engine deck is 30 millimeters, so Arty should be able to pen this if they can get one with a good enough pen. An 8-inch howitzer should be able to get through. So you can take these out if you can get the shot in the right place. Certainly if you use an armor-piercing round, you should be able to go through them. The rear of the engine deck is 85 millimeters, coming out 93. So yes, you can shoot these things in the sides and the rear and potentially get a pen. Let's have a quick look at the live model. As you can see, you can't penetrate it with 8G, but if you penetrate it with the, or shoot at it with the standard AP model, you can see that it is penetrable on the body of the tank, but very difficult to pen the turret. But the cupolas are weak spots. Technically, you can get through those, so that's what you aim for. In fact, most players I see tend to aim for this front one rather than go for this one at the back, because it's slightly easier. You've got a bit more area to actually work with on the front of a Viz55. Angling, well, angling does help a little bit on the front of this vehicle, but it does expose the weaker side. So I think most players, if they saw an angled Viz, they would just go for the sides of the vehicle instead and take it as an invitation. So let's have a quick look at the modules. And there aren't any, I'm afraid. Yes, this tank is so modern that Wargaming haven't shared the modules. So I think the only thing we can tell you is the driver is sitting in the center of the vehicle. We've got the commander sitting behind the gunner. The gunner's over here, and the commander just behind him, because he's got the cupola with all the view sights, and he's got the gunner's sight there. And over from the rear, I would say that that happens to be the loader who's shoving the shells into the auto-loading mechanism 2 at a time. And all we can say as well is that it's got a rear engine, but we just don't know the configuration. And that's about all I can tell you about the Viz55. What I can tell you, though, is we do have a second replay. And this one is by FiliPer1n0. And of course, you know that he's Super Unicum. So let's see how he gets on in the Viz55. The second replay is on the Sand River map, and it's Sand River Encounter, which is always a bit of fun because, of course, it means that you are starting from a different spawn point, but there's always a good chance that you're going to go into a confrontation straight away.
Let's get this show underway.
Well, yet again, Wargaming have let us down. No engine noises, but of course we can still enjoy the battle. Okay, so you know where all the strong points are on this vehicle now, but you can also know where are the weak spots because, yes, they're in that cupola. And it seems that FiliPer1n0 is going straight for it. He wants to get at the enemy straight away and get as much damage as he can. His reload time is 9.8 seconds. And he's got the stock gun, which means he hasn't got the autoloader. First shot, 488 hit points. Now, as I remember saying, it was 490 alpha, but it's got a slightly different reload. It's not the two-shot autoloader, it's a single-shotter. So he's going to play it like a conventional heavy tank. Nice one. Got a high roll there. Oh, Crampon. Yep, he's offering himself. Oh! How was that not a kill? Not a shot in. It wouldn't have been a kill. How did that not pen? He's looking our way. And yes, he's definitely looking at us. But all he can see is those brows. And it's very, very difficult to pen. He tried to go for the rear cupola. And now we're going to get a shot on the E75. And it's a high roll, 502. Crampon's pulled back to reload. And, oh, the Arty. That was a 155mm round, but it didn't land too close because very low damage. He got another high roll on the E75. Now, the big worry is that we might take shots from our right side because the enemy is more than likely going up to the pass to try and get through that pass, and if they do go through the pass, they'll probably see us. Okay, we've only got the... Ow, the Crampon hit us again. He's hitting us from cover. So he managed to get one through on the viewports. He was going right for the weak spot. Sharp Future is out of the game. Oh, it's the Unis, not the Jar. What am I saying? Okay, what have we got here? Oh, it's an M103 and he's just nuked him. All he had left was 394, but he's got his second kill. Okay, looks like we've absolutely mullered the enemy team, but yep. We bounce around from an E3, or rather, I think he was aiming for the cupola. You can see where one of those shots actually went through. Fires another one in, didn't pen this time. I think it hit the tracks. He's hiding in the bush, but not anymore, and that's one through the side. Low roll, 462. The enemy are losing tanks all over the place. We're 5 up on them now, and this T110E3 is going to expire if he keeps driving like this. Yep, he's gone. So, third kill for FiliPer1n0. He's going for it. He's motoring to get to the cap because it looks like the enemy is panicking. They're trying to cap because that's all they can do. There's 7 down now. And most of that is down to FiliPer1n0. He's the only one who's managed to score more than 1 kill so far. It gets one into the side of the Emil too. Oh, we've got a... Is that Torvon? No, it's a Tortoise blocking our approach. But the Waffenträger's going in first, which is not a smart move for the Waffenträger. But the Tortoise is offering us his bum, and we're just going to keep pumping shells into his buttocks. Come on, show us your rear. There you go. Back to the garage. And that is potentially a high caliber because he's got 20%. And there's only 5 enemies left. We've got the CS59 over there. We've got one up on the heights. He's a little far away from the action. You're going to have to come down if you want to fight. It's a T30. Okay, let's get rid of this guy in the cap area. Well, he's outside the cap area. It's a Striv K. Oh, now we've got to take care of him first. Sharp Future. Yep. Slice straight through him for a high roll. Of course, he's got no armor, so he's an easy kill. He's changing position to get over this side so we can't get hit in return by the Sharp Future. But once we get over the ridgeline, we're probably going to start taking hits. The Striv, who saw him, but he blocked it, or didn't block it, but he actually pulled back in time. The Striv is now going to suffer, and this is where you get Ram. 57 tons of tank, and he's got fantastic armor, and there you go, one in the side, but he didn't get a kill, didn't get a high roll, but he can take him out next shot. In fact, he could back up and take the kill, but he's gonna wait for the shell. There you go. That's 4 kills. There's only 2 enemies remaining, so chances of a top gun, I think, have just gone, because there's only one now. It's the Char. And Arty's trying to get in on it as well. One more shot to put him out of our misery, or his misery, and to win the game. Goes for the Ram. Oh, he gets him with a Ram kill. What a fantastic game. Well done, FiliPer1n0. FiliPer1n0 always sends us such good replays. He's the gentleman who actually played a Scorpion as a medium tank and made it work. I mean, it's phenomenal considering the thing has no armor, but just look what he's done here with this Viz 55. He got an ace tanker out of this game, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6, a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5 in the end, just getting 1 short of getting that top gun, and 1/3 of the enemy team. He managed to get a fire effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. At the very last minute in that battle, he actually platooned, got a brothers in arms, the only other player in the game who actually managed to get multiple kills, as well as getting the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. And he did that the moment he crossed the riverbed after taking out the tortoise. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, look at that damage, 8,256. He really did go for it on the damage. Massive amount. The next highest scorer was, in fact, the M46 Pattern, who only managed 3,621, followed by the T110E3 on his own team with 3,329. When it came to kills, he had 5. The next highest was the Rhinocerente, who platooned with him at the last minute. He got 3 kills. So between them, they got 8, and that's more than half the enemy team. And the next highest ones after that, the only other ones to get multiple kills were the T110E3, the M46 Pattern, and the Waffenträger. When it came to base XP, yep, only 2 players managed to get over 1,000. FiliPer1n0 got 1,400 in the Viz 55, whilst the M46 Pattern got 1,131. The Rhinocerente was in 3rd place with 947. I suspect that he was actually doing more kill shots or kill steals than actual damage, because you can see how FiliPer1n0 was actually doing real damage and getting consistent shots to get his kills, whereas the Rhinocerente only ended up with 1,467 hit points, but it's still a good score. But he got 3 kills out of it instead of the 2 that the Pattern got, and he did twice as much damage. FiliPer1n0 fired 23 rounds in that game, got 20 direct hits on the enemy and 18 penetrations. Damage of 8,256 hit points, all of it at less than 300 meters. And he did it with stock gun as well, the standard reload, not with the burst damage. He got 10 hits received from the enemy, only 1 of which actually penetrated. We saw that one actually went through the cupola. It was a very good shot. It was the T110E3, I think. 7 non-penetrations and 2 hits by way of splash damage. 3,290 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, and 1,226 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 70,758 credits from the battle, 31,841 from battle payments, a grand total of 137,978 altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, and he didn't have much in the way of consumables, and he ended up with a profit of 33,421 credits for the game. 1,400 XP for the battle, times 5 for the first victory, 2,100 from personal reserves, and took away 12,600 experience points altogether. And remember, this was done with a stock gun. In fact, everything was stock on the vehicle. And you can see he just didn't have that burst damage, but he still made it work for him, because of course he knows where to put the shells, he knows how to take aim perfectly and clearly, and he knows as well when to pull back to avoid getting hit in return. So another great game by FiliPer1n0. Thank you for sending this one in and allowing us so we can match it with Jamie's one. Equally good battles, equally getting an ace tanker out of it, one getting the burst damage and the other one with the stock gun. And yeah, that was an interesting comparison, because now it means that when you go out there, you know that if you want to get big damage with the stock, you play like FiliPer1n0, and if you want to get good burst damage you just play like Jamie did, and then you'll be okay. I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. If you did, please give our video a like, do subscribe to our channel, and leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do let other people know that we're still giving all of the proceeds from our YouTube channel to help the refugees coming out of the Ukraine war. We're not taking any profit for the moment because we just want to help as many of those people as we can. We want Ukraine to come out victorious of this horrible war that should never have happened. But if we can give a bit of enjoyment and give some money to help the refugees, then all the better. And thank you for watching.